So we got all that done. We got our coating saved. So now let's click over here to Mach and load up Mach. Like I say, this is real generic. There's a whole lot fancier software out there now. This is really old, but it was free. It came with the controllers and things, so it's pretty neat to learn. That way you don't waste a lot of money until you can figure out if you like this or you want to do it or not. So this is Mach 3, pretty ancient, and I don't know what it runs on. I'm running on Windows XP because this whole system is really built old and I got it really cheap. So now we want to load this thing up, and so there's my Rev 5 tap file right there. So when I bring it in, right here is a picture of what I had over there on the ArtCAM Pro, and then it's got all the lines where it says it's going to go do things. So the biggest thing, I can't really do a lot right now. I can run it. So if I pretend that my tool is zeroed, so I'm going to zero everybody home, and I can actually, without the CNC running, I can simulate, and so I can hit start, and what you'll see is over here in this top window, it's going to run over. Make it a little bit bigger for you. So it's going to run over, and it's going to do that first hole. It decided that that was the best thing to do, and so it's actually doing that drilling right now. And you can see the little guy right here. This is your tool, and so it's drilling down, and I told it to go to 0.2 and then come up and then go back down. So you can see what it's doing right there. It goes down to 0.2, and then it'll go to 0.4, and then it'll jump back up to clear, then it'll come back down real fast, and then it'll start cutting again at the 0.04. So the drilling is pretty easy, and what I'll do is start and stop as it's running right here, so you can see how it does its drilling. And then the next thing, after it drills those 3 holes, it's going to do these counter bores, and then you'll see it run that program. Or you can just watch it, but you can simulate it like this right here and watch it run, and you'll get used to watching the code go by, seeing what it's doing. But see, it's running on down, and it's gonna make it to the 0.76 because I told it to go a little bit further. So right there it went down to 0.76. Now it's going to head over here and it's going to do the next hole. So it's going to scoot over to this one and drill that hole. Same deal, and it's going to come up here and drill that hole. So we'll let it run the simulation here. The other thing you can do is I can stop the cycle because I'm just playing with it. But we'll stop the cycle and hit rewind, and it'll take you back to the top of it. And so then you can just clear everything back out. So the one thing it will let you do is it'll let you simulate your runtime. And so this is kind of neat because it's like a speedy version. And so if I hit simulate, I want to see about how long it's going to take to make this part. Then I'll hit simulate run right there. And it's going to count down real fast. So it gives you a run time. Run. So I'm up to an hour. And hour and 15 minutes. Like I say, it has to run pretty slow. And I topped out at an hour and 36 minutes. And so it's estimating that it's going to take an hour and 36 minutes to run this thing. So not too bad for a mini mill. If I was on a bigger mill and I could take, more aggressive cuts, I could cut that time, in half. Instead of taking 50 thousandths, if I took a tenth of an inch, or 100 thousandths, then it would cut that time almost in half. But there we go. So we got everything set up, and so now what I'm going to do is just let it run and pretend, because it gives me an estimate about an hour and 30, but I'm kind of curious. So I don't have to do anything as far as setting up the CNC. I can actually just let it pretend that it's running. And so I'm going to clear everything, and then I'm going to hit cycle start, and we're going to let it start running. But you can see what it did. It jumped up to scoot over. It jumped up to my safe Z, the 0.05, and then it'll drop down and take off. So there we go. So we'll let this run, and we'll figure out what the total time is. Then we'll come back in a little bit and set up our part, and then see if we can cut this aluminum to make our little cover.